The Green Bay Packers making the first of many big decisions that are yet to come. What is that? I'm going to break that down in this video. Before I jump into it, if you like the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so first, with the draft around the corner, I want to know, who is that as a Packer fan? Who is that guy? What's that pick the Green Bay Packers did that is just this complete bust to you? Leave your comments. Let me know who that is. For me, it is Tony Mandarich. When the Packers selected Tony Mandarich, and it's less about like Tony Mandarich and more about who they could have taken. It was, Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, Derek Thomas, guys like that the Packers passed up on to take a bust in Tony Baloney Mandarich. Anyways, leave your comments. Let me know who that guy is for you. Maybe it's Tony Mandarich, maybe it's somebody else. Okay, so let's get into it. What is the first decision of many that the Green Bay Packers did, according to CBS Sports right here? Edge rusher Rashawn Gary and the Green Bay Packers reached an agreement of a contract restructure, creating $4.781 million in cap space. The former number 12 pick out of the University of Michigan signed a 4-year, $107 million extension in October. Gary recorded 9 sacks this last year. Obviously worth the money. The guy is a leader out there, one of the best edge rushers I feel in the game. So it's important that they hang on to him. It's also important that they restructure, especially because they're cap poor. Another article goes on to say right here that over the cap projections that the Packers had $2.3 million in available cap space before this move, before this restructure with Rashawn Gary. Ken Ingalls, who independently tracks the Packers' salary cap situation, projects that the Packers will need roughly $30 million in cap space to account for regular operation expenses, such as signing the draft class, this upcoming 2024 draft class, constructing a practice squad, and in-season spending, among other expenses. That 30 million figure does not include any free agent additions, which we know the Packers have to do, especially when we start talking about safeties out there. Although between other restructures the Packers can make, Kenny Clark as an extension candidate and potential roster cuts, the Packers have the ability to create quite a bit of cap space out there. But again, for every cap saving move that the Packers make in 2024, it decreases their flexibility in future years to come. So obviously some big choices coming for the Green Bay Packers, especially because like it said right there, bigger implications that not just restructures and trying to get money into their cap savings account this season. It's going to have implications in years to come for the Packers. So a lot of big decisions ahead for Brian Gutekunst and the Green Bay Packers when we start breaking that down. But one of the first of many big choices, big moves for the Green Bay Packers is a restructure of Brian Gutekunst. And of course, there's the David Bakhtiari situation out there looming. And according to the X, Brian Gutekunst said at a combine, a decision on left tackle David Bakhtiari will be made before the start of free agency in March, despite his surgically repaired knee not being fully recovered. Also said that Russ Bell would be meeting with other agents such as Aaron Jones and many others. So we know that. That's a huge. We know that Packers can add about a $21 million in cap savings by letting go of Rashawn Gary, something that they're going to have to do relatively soon when we start talking about David Bakhtiari being on the books, and a move that they have got to do in the very near future for the Green Bay Packers. We're talking about pretty much March 11th that they've got to decide which direction they're going to go when we start talking, David Bakhtiari and the contract there. But between the restructure of Rashawn Gary and what the Packers currently had, which wasn't much, what was it, like nearly $2.5 million in cap space, the Packers now have roughly around $7 million in cap space. Once they restructure, once they let go of David Bakhtiari, that becomes more like 28 million, getting them closer to that $30 million cap space. Again, that they're going to need when we start talking about just in season spending money. And then when you start talking about the restructure of some contracts out there, one of them being Aaron Jones, guys, that that are on the books that they need to restructure to free up some cap space and or cut and let go. Um, Royce Newman, guys like that out there. There's going to be, Samori Torre. There's going to be those guys out there that the Packers can cut and create some savings. There, look for that to be rolling out here in the near future for the Packers. I think they can, with those restructures, with those drops, I think the Packers can get nearly, close to that 45 to 50-ish $50 million in cap space, far off number than the 2.5 they started with. So a lot of work yet to be done for Brian Gutekunst and the Green Bay Packers. But again, the first of many big decisions coming with the restructuring of Rashawn Gary's contract, something that I'm super excited about because that's just the first of many big things that the Packers and Brian Gutekunst are going to be doing. And leave your comments again. Let me know who's that pick out there for you. Who's that bust of a pick that the Packers, took. For me, it was Tony Mandridge. Let me know your thoughts. Your guy out there. Go Pack, go.